I mean, I'm looking at this and hearing everything you're saying. For me personally, I would love to be able to try to help you secure someone who had the expertise, and I know you've done a lot of the grant writing, but somebody who could physically do the grants and have the knowledge and try to secure the funds. Maybe you already have that, but the way I understood last time, you were writing the grants yourself, is that?
I have written several grants.
Okay.
But we had, the first grant was written by Mary Saltarelli, a historic consultant, the planning grant to the state. And we also had a historic architect that helped us. We spent $28,000 securing their services so that we would have the plans, the prioritized list of how we should repair things, as well as the plans of, for instance, even the mortar mix that we put into restoring the repointing had to be done according to historic guidelines and a certain mix so that it would match the historic mortar that was in there previously.
I'm kind of like Daryl. I mean, I think this is too big of an opportunity for us to really shine for Glen Rose and what you're doing and Barnard's Mill. I mean, we've got to make sure that this thing is
At the same time,
successful.
we risk losing a local treasure, and you don't want to lose that, because I think it's at the point where another big snowstorm might very easily have a rock pile.
I would hate for us to have a really big rain right now. I'm hoping it doesn't rain before we start doing something.
I think, I'm trying to say this politically correct, but we come to these meetings like this and we get a lot of this financial information as we're all sitting here, and it's very difficult because we want to make good sound judgments and calls and certainly do the right thing for the community. But as we're getting this information and we see some of the downturn in the deposits for the 4B taxes, certainly we have to adjust to that as well. Our commitment, I think, right now is to make sure that the current project, which is the Oakdale project, certainly is successful, and we can't just extend ourselves, overextend ourselves. But by the same token, I want to make sure that these projects that fall under the guidelines of 4B are good and positive, that we can help in every way possible. We've all got to kind of do our job to make sure that we're supporting Glen Rose and talking it up, and I think we are. We're doing a great job. Billy's doing a great job. Mike's doing a great job, and we've got to continue that. But we've got to see an upturn in those deposits in order for us to continue these projects the best we can. But I think for us as a board, what I would like to do, I want to make sure that we have the right discussion so that we're giving you the right monies now, because I think we all support that. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm thinking, I feel the understanding from this board. I want to make sure you're getting what you need now. Whether it's $10,000 or $30,000 or what it is, I'm not in a good position right now sitting on this board to tell you what that is. I'm not sure I know, just seeing these numbers tonight for the first time. Am I right or wrong, guys?
Well, I mean, to me, there's a risk that the $30,000 they have, in grant will go away if we don't act. Am I wrong?
Well, they have till June.
We have some time to raise the money, but raising $30,000 is a difficult thing to raise. That would be the first step, is getting the $30,000 matching funds. And we are very reluctant to spend our operating funds. You can get grants for repairs, for restoration, for even new structures, but you can't get grants for operating funds.
True.
And we have to maintain that. It's not going to do us any good to repair it and restore it and close the doors and nobody ever gets to go in. So we've got to maintain be physically responsible to the Somerville History Foundation to be able to open it and have people go through. We do everything we can with volunteers, and the only people really, our biggest expense is docents. And when your largest expense is Well, we have one girl that's been over there 3 years from Tarleton that we pay $9 an hour. And that's the highest paying job we've got. So we do yard work, we do painting, we do, you know, whatever we can do. But we raise money, we have fundraisers, and we do apply for grants. We have received 3 this past year, but they were small ones. And we're not looking down our noses at it. We're just saying that it's difficult to raise money in this economic times. We felt very fortunate that we got the 30 from the state. And they had put us off 2 years to get that because of Galveston. So we had applied for it to get it last January the 1st and didn't get it until this January. And then we had to complete the SAL in order to actually start getting bids. And we couldn't do anything until April the 22nd, which would coincide with what you are doing. But the 30,000 matching funds is going to be a pretty critical thing for us.
I was privileged to have a tour recently of Barnard Mills, and we can't let it go. You can't. We have to find some way to at least match the grant and not lose it. If you lose it, you're looking at a huge expense thing.
Well, and if they lose it, the ability to get grants in the future diminishes significantly, which is a sad aspect of it.
I would like to see us as a board at least consider the matching funds, and like you said, put off the additional money until we see what's going to happen. You have a hidden treasure in Barnard Mills.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
A second.
I have a motion and a second.
I just had a little discussion about that. I'd like to do the 30,000 matching grant. I'd also like to ask the History Foundation to go back and look at their other needs and see how we might do other matching grants for these $100,000. We're in a position where we can't fund $100,000, but we might be able to do something to help you get further along that way.
Certainly, we are exploring on a daily basis. The grant that I'm working on through the National Park Service will not be available for a year, however. And,
Well, even if it was just local fundraising that you were doing to do
well, we
matching,
continually do that.
we can help.
That's,
Hey, Sue, I'm gonna ask you to revise your motion real quick, and I'm gonna ask you to make the motion to pay the 30,000 now and to table the 100,000, so we won't have to go back through the public hearing process.
So
Okay.
So a second.
Okay, motion and second. So it's still back there, and whenever we get there, and hopefully we will, soon, very
okay,
soon.
may I ask a question on that? Do we need to come back to you and say in 2-3 months, if we see that sales tax is going back up again, and make a request, or what is the procedure you would like for us to follow? Obviously, we're going to attack the problem as soon as we get the money.
Right.
So, yes, we can wait just a little bit, but can you give me a timeline as to what you think I should do procedure-wise to get back to you?
I think as and when you get projects, you gotta bring them forward. We either
I
can do
can-
them or we can't.
I could give you $100,000 worth of projects tonight.
Well, it's pretty
They're-
clear we can't do that. What I'm
Obviously,
saying
but
is,
what I'm saying.
once you secure the building and you get ready for your next phase, I think you ought to come back and update us and we'll see where we're at.
Okay.